second recipient of the Patriot Award is Luke Petrey, and I'd like to read some of the comments that were shared about him, and then we'll hear a few remarks from him as well. He has the substance from drinking deeply from the classics. He read all of the Federalist Papers this year and wrote a paper I would love to have authored. Interacts with his mentors like a peer. He went toe-to-toe with Barfus in Ryer's group one week about anarchy, and the next week he shared his own writing with a mentor writing group. He treats his peers with respect. Another wrote, he is the epitome of raising the bar. He met all class and state requirements because his excellence is built on a structured foundation, and that structure has not inhibited him or slowed him down. He is not waiting for a suggestion or assignment, but has organically found ways to publish, master, mentor, and scholar. He is kind and inclusive. He has found ways to lead without ever holding leadership positions in the school. The other scholars learn from and honor him because he is working hard and loving it. I'd like to just share a little bit about Luke. Luke opted not to receive a diploma on principle. He was far too busy learning than to be schooling during his time at Paradigm. And I honor that, and I respect that. He worked harder than what was required. He read more books than what was asked, wrote more papers than what was expected. He even asked for more tests, having had 2 oral exams, one of them lasting about 2 hours long, which was a complete pleasure. And so it's my pleasure to introduce to you and our recipient of the Patriot Award here, Luke Petrey.
Thank you, Sam. I have a few things to say, and I'll be completely honest, I do not deserve this award. My 7th and 8th grade years, I failed every single class. My freshman and sophomore year, I failed some more classes, and by the end, definitely hated school. My junior year, I was planning to drop out of high school and pursue my career as a professional parkour athlete. And that leads me to this year. Because of my poor performance in prior years of school, at the beginning of my senior year, I was faced with a polarizing decision. Either spend an average of 3 hours a day, every day, all year, working on packets to gain and earn a diploma, or forgo receiving a diploma and instead spend that time reading, writing, and discussing with the hope of becoming a scholar and eventually gaining a true education. Based on the fact I'm bringing this up, and based on what Sam said, you can tell I chose not to graduate. I can assure you that the decision not to graduate high school wasn't made idly, and so to address some concerns many of you may have, no, I'm not going to be flipping burgers for the rest of my life. Yes, I'm going to college. No, I'm not crazy. Yes, my parents still love me. And support me. Let me address the elephant in the room. The path I've chosen is not for everyone. In fact, it's only as a result of my prior idiocy that I'm even in the situation that I'm in. I'm surrounded by dozens of my fellow graduating seniors who have not only worked hard to gain a true education, but have worked hard to gain a diploma as well. That being said, I will tell you the same thing. The decision not to graduate is the greatest decision I've ever made in my life, only because I decided to take up the responsibility. So today I won't tell you I hate school, but I will tell you that I think it's broken. While I could talk about the problems with the public education system, I won't, because the problem lies not only in the system, but in its foundation. We spend so much time complaining about symptoms and so little time addressing the actual problem, ourselves. The actual problem with the education system is only a derivative of its components, us. The cliche statement, be the change you want to see in the world, is only cliche because we're too apathetic to realize something so basic could solve our problems. School should not so much be a restraining system, but rather the railway platform before an unknown world. We can choose to board a train, and we will most definitely end up somewhere great. But should we desire an education, we must become the firemen on the locomotive of education, tirelessly shoveling coal into the engine firebox. Too often, the keys to the locomotive of education are sought for through casual, painless mediums. We are addicted to the comfortable inoculation we call motivation. The next time you view any motivational YouTube video, book, or speech, pay close attention to how you feel consequently. For as the motivational high wears off, left behind oftentimes is an unchanged person. The opiate influence of casual motivation on the undisciplined mind is among the greatest vices that we face. Plutarch says, education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. The locomotive of education is departing, and the greatest choice that we have to make is not to fill it with our baggage, but to stoke up the firebox and fuel our education with greatness. So how do we make a change? How can we actually gain an education in a system so broken, when the scholar seems forgotten and the student seems enslaved? The sordid truth is that there is no miracle pill, no spray-on education. We do not become educated until we're disciplined. The actual elixir we seek lies only in liberty. Work hard and you will become great. We do not find an education by seeking for it. We find it through mundane, basic action. Read great books. The successes and failures of others will teach you. Write great ideas. The successes and failures of yourself will guide you. Share truth with the people around you. The successes and failures of everyone will manifest the nobility in yourself and the nobility in the world. As we unceasingly stoke the firebox of that virtuous locomotive and take up the metaphorical sword of liberty, the time will come when we realize that we have donned that perennial armor of scholarship, and the clash of arms will create the spark that ignites the flame of education within ourselves and others. The tempestuous winds of the world are all about us, and the beguiling voice of apathy is always riding our coattails, coaxing us into submission. So again, I say, work hard and you will become great. Fail hard and you will learn. Read great books, write great ideas, share the truth you inevitably find, and you will find that suddenly that little spark has become an extraordinary flame.